Zenfest is so tonight we're going through the another show and tell group of exhibitors. It's going to be Group I tonight, this Wednesday night. The order of events tonight, we're going to give a quick introduction to Zenefest. We'll lay out some house rules and expectations. The exhibitors will go into breakout rooms to get to know each other. Then the bulk of tonight will be exhibitors presenting their work for everyone to enjoy. And then if there's time, we'll do some questions from the exhibitors, from people who are live streaming in, and then we'll close that out tonight. So Zenefest was founded in 2001 as a gathering place for writers and artists from around the world, but especially from the Bay Area. And it's typically been a one-day event at the County Fair Building in Golden Gate Park. Our 2019 festival had 240 exhibitors and over 5,000 attendees. But due to COVID-19, this year we're going 100% virtual. So my name is Neil Ballard. I'm one of the co-organizers, one of the volunteer co-organizers of SF Zenefest, and I'm so happy to be with you here tonight. We're going to, I'd love to tell you about our 3 guests of honor. So usually at the one day festival, we just have 1 guest of honor, but since we're doing 3 weeks of online programming this year, we've got 3 guests of honor. They're all amazing artists. Alex L. Combs was week 1, and then it was, or it is Death P. Sun, because we're in week 2 right now, and next week it's gonna be Tana Tucker. So yeah, each of the guests of honor have been contributing some great art and merch for our store, which you can pick up. I'll read our safer spaces policy real quick. So we're committed to providing a harassment-free experience for everyone, regardless of gender identity or expression, sexual orientation, disability, physical appearance, body size, race, or religion. We will not tolerate harassment at SF Zenefest events in any form, and individuals violating the Safer Spaces policy may be sanctioned or expelled from the space or the event at the discretion of any SF Zenefest organizer. So guidelines for Zoom, please keep your video off unless you're presenting, so we can keep the video quality great. Keep yourself on mute unless you're presenting, so we don't have random noises. If you have a question, please ask it in the chat, which is moderated by volunteers. Artists will have 4 minutes to share your work, and you can use that time however you like. You can read from your zines, you can give a bio of yourself, introduce yourself, however creative you want to be, totally fine. Compliment each other in the chat, just say hi, use it however you like. Be mindful for folks who are blind or visually impaired by being specific and descriptive when sharing your work. That really helps. This Zoom session is being recorded and broadcast to Facebook and YouTube. So above all, please be respectful, as I know you all will be. Now you're going to be asked to join a breakout room. And this is a private small group meeting, chance to quickly introduce yourselves and say hi. You'll have 3 minutes before we bring you back to the main room. And the suggested prompt that we have tonight is, what friend or family member or current or historic figure would you like to make a zine about? So if you could choose a person that is special to you, who would you make a zine about and why? So those breakout rooms should be starting pretty soon. I'm gonna start seeing people disappearing one by one. Yeah, and that's happening, so great. So while that's happening, I have a little something prepared for everybody. First of all, before I get to it, I would like to say, please support SF Zenefest by buying the merch that we have on our store. We aren't able to do to collect tabling fees this year because that's usually how the festival is mainly funded, also through grants and other income like merchandise sales. This year, though, all we have really is merchandise sales. So it's really important to keep the fest going and so that we can have it next year for you to purchase the merch that we have on our store. And we, in the interest of that, we have some really great stuff on there this year, all made by our 3 guests of honor, as I mentioned. So please be sure to check that out at sfzenefest.org. So now I think that anybody who is into zines can appreciate a good collection of any sort. And I have been, during the pandemic, kind of really leaning into my vinyl record collection. So I just wanted to kind of give a little brief overview of some ones that I have. First up here, we've got no, I'm sorry, this is La Sabatus by Yaz Ahmed, who is a London-based trumpeter. This is a phenomenal album with a lot of great players on the London jazz scene, including Shabaka Hutchings, who also has a top spot in my collection. It's Yaz Ahmed, I believe, is a Bahrainian Londoner, so there's a lot of Middle Eastern sounds in the album, as well as kind of, you know, more avant-garde jazz. And the album art is absolutely beautiful. This is Harry Belafonte's "Turn the World Around," one of my all-time favorites. This album is actually not available in the US. It never was. It was never sold in the US. It was only released internationally, which I think is why not a lot of people know about it. But it was during the late 70s when I think he was kind of looking to restart his career, but really proving that he never missed a step. There's a great version of a song that he did years earlier, "A Hole in the Bucket," and another one that I was just listening to the other day and just thinking, oh, it's so good, is the title track, "Turn the World Around," which was used in a Muppet special, I believe, and Jim Henson made some cool Muppets for that. "Big Wave" by Tatsuo Yamashita. So this was a soundtrack for a surfing documentary, and it's really good. I recommend anybody who likes kind of Japanese pop of the 70s era. This stuff has gotten a big resurgence this year with a lot of that being available on YouTube and other places. Okay, great, we're back. Hey everybody. Hope the experience of being in the breakout rooms was a great one. Can I get some thumbs up if that's the case? Yay. I'm seeing thumbs. I love it. Okay, fantastic. Now that everyone's back, let's jump back into my screen share so that I can introduce everybody and get everybody's 4 minutes started. Get my phone here. Get that ready. Okay, cool. So just 1 second here. All right. So first, before we get into presenting, just want to go over this so that everybody's clear. What should you say or do when you're presenting? Tell us your name and pronouns. Tell us if you're based in the Bay Area, and if not, where are you now? If you were here in the past, or if you're just located elsewhere. Tell us a little bit about yourself and show your work, or read something from your zines. Like I said, it's very open-ended. So presenting order is going to be as follows. So you should certainly be seeing yourself on the list. So now we're gonna start with our first presenter. It's going to be Alex Wrekk and the PBW Zine Distro. So if you are ready, please go ahead and take it away. Doesn't sound like that person is ready yet. So let's go back to that one. And we will, we'll just, sorry guys, just share my screen here and move on to the next presenter. Is going to be Antiquated Future Zine Distro. So if you're here, You can go ahead and chime in. Antiquated Future?
Yeah.
Great, excellent. All right, please take it away.
Great. Hey, yeah, my name's Joshua James, and run or part of Antiquated Future, and we've been selling zines, carry hundreds of artists from around the world, but mostly West Coast writers and artists, musicians, and we've been doing that since 2008. So November will be our 12-year anniversary. And yeah, up in Portland, started out of Olympia, have tabled at the SF Zenfest a time or two over the years, and really love it. I thought I'd just run through some just kind of new things that we've picked up in recently, very recently, or printed recently, just kind of like new things for this year or pandemic times in general. And so I thought I'd start with one that just came out this week. It's called Is It Just Me or Are We Nailing This? Essays on BoJack Horseman. So it's a series of really deep dive essays into the animated show BoJack Horseman, and kind of really delving into kind of some of the show's themes of depression and alcoholism, and also race representation and voice acting, and just a whole slew of things, mostly essays, also comics. There's a BoJack Tarot in it. It's really great. We've been working on it for about a year now, so it's really exciting to see it come together, and there's maybe a dozen different people and artists that submitted to it. Also out in the last week or two, is this zine that I've been putting together for 15 years called Basic Paper Airplane. And this is the cassette tape issue. So this is a zine all about cassette tapes, and there's 20 different writers telling personal stories about cassettes and their just kind of love and hate relationship with cassettes. I'm a big cassette fan. Antiquated Future releases cassettes as the Antiquated Future Records part of the distro. Also out earlier this year during kind of quarantine times, Oakland writer and part of the Antiquated Future team, Gina Sarti, put out Shit's Fuck Still, Another Positivity Guide, which is her sequel to Shit's Fuck a Positivity Guide, which has been our all-time bestseller. So it's really great to have a number 2 in this series, and it's really great. It's even better than the first. So really excited about that. Just a couple weeks ago, we picked up Kayla Greet's One Punk's Guide to Star Trek, which is really wonderful. Another deep dive into the whole universe of Star Trek. It's really good for newcomers, and also people who are fans or have just kind of dipped a toe into that. One that we picked up a couple months ago and have not been able to keep in stock is An Incomplete History of Long Gone Illegal Punk Venues in Boston from 2000 to 2015. When we picked this up, I was like, that's pretty niche. I don't, I definitely want to carry that, but I don't know how many will sell. But we've sold hundreds. It's just a really great kind of history of punk venues in general, with just kind of Boston as this kind of microcosm of a larger thing. Very wonderful. Been really enjoying some long running series. New issue of Fluke, which has been running for like 20 or 30 years. And this one focuses on outsider art and has a lot of really great pieces in it. And the new issue of Comet Bus came out this year, and it's really wonderful. It's really it's a book more than a zine, but it's so fantastic. And that's it.
Yes, that is the time.
Okay, great.
Yeah, thank you. You got a showed off a big range of work in that time, so really appreciate it. So now we'll go back to share here. So just going to go back to our first presenter tonight. So I got it from the chat that where this exhibitor likely can't make it tonight. So if that does change and Alex does show up, certainly we can go back to sharing this. But if not, I'll just give an overview myself of Alex Wrekk and PBW Zine Distro, based out of Portland, Oregon. So Alex Wrekk, they, she pronouns, lives in Portland, Oregon, and their life revolves around zines. Alex runs PBW Distro with their partner, Paul. She makes BrainScan Zine and the book Stolen Sharpie Revolution, a DIY resource for zines and zine culture. They were a founder of the Portland Zine Symposium. Oh, awesome. Founded July as International Zine Month and sings in the zine-themed band Copy Scams. What better than a zine-themed band? That's hard to say. So all of their links are on this screen here. We'll also be showing links at the end of the slides tonight. So that is Alex Wrekk and PBW Zine Distro. So now we're going to move on to our next presenter. It's ArtReach Studios. So whenever you're ready, please tell us what you're all about. ArtReach Studios. Okay, I'm not hearing from anybody, so I will go ahead and present this as well. And just like before, if you are here, please let us know and chime in, and you can present. Otherwise, I will read the overview here. So the ArcSF is a lifelong learning center for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities, serving clients in the San Francisco Bay Area. ArtReach Studios promotes the advancement of visual artists from the ArcSF through exploration, education, and entrepreneurship. ArtReach artists receive 70% of the sales of their artwork, while the remaining 30% is reinvesting in our program. So all of ArtReach's links are right there. And kind of a interesting personal note, my brother is a para-educator and works for the ArcSF. So I'll have to tell him that that this was happening tonight, and he'll be happy to hear that. But it's a great program. They do wonderful job placement and education opportunities in San Francisco, and so really worth supporting, and that's awesome to see them here. Okay, so we'll move to the next presenter. It's going to be CRAPANDEMIC. I've had trouble with portmanteaus and how to pronounce them, so please correct me if I got that wrong.
No, you got that right.
Okay, excellent. So everybody, I just want to say that Julia's sound is just a little low, so if you want to turn your volume up.
I'll just talk really loud. It's fine.
Okay, sounds good.
Hi guys. Yeah, so I'm Julia F. I run a distro called CrapAndemic. I named it like a billion years ago. It used to be my Tumblr URL. So I was not anticipating 2020 at all. This has very much thrown a wrench in all the gears. Yeah, we're like a goth themed zine distro in that like all of we focus on personal zines pretty much, and personal zines is like a fanzine leaning, and then fanzines that lean personal. But yeah, it's just, if you were a teenager that shopped at Hot Topic, if you are still a teenager that shops at Hot Topic, if you're a grown-up that shops at Hot Topic, yeah, we're here for you. If you've got that like new metal nostalgia. So yeah, I'm gonna show off some of the cool stuff we've got lately. I like to work with a lot of first-time zine makers. So this one is called A Tunnel Where One Should Not Exist. And it is by one of my friends from Tumblr. Yeah, and it is about their surgery because they had some crazy health issues, and it's about buttholes. There's kind of no two ways to go about it, and it's all handwritten and cut and paste, and it's amazing and really emotionally heavy. They trigger warning for medical stuff, trauma, etc. I hate that we don't carry anything really like super happy. I carry some of like Liz Mason's stuff because her stuff tends to skew a little bit less morbid, because we kind of need that to like offset how dark things get sometimes. Also just restocked Fraud by Luke Verman. This is a kid I've known forever, and this is about feeling like a bad survivor, feeling like a bad victim, feeling like you're not processing your trauma correctly. All cut and paste. We really like stuff that's cut and paste, you know, like that's just the way I've made zines forever. I've been doing zines for like 15 years. So I have friends that make the same kind of zines. We also just got the new issue of Clumsy by Agatha Thrash. This one is about the protests and being evicted and COVID, and some goals for the rest of 2020. Yeah, it's blank. Oh yeah, and Luke from Fraud is gonna present tomorrow, and can probably give a better rundown on that than I can. I'm just like, it's so good. It hurts my heart to look at. So it's amazing, and you should buy it. Everything here, by the way, is like $3 to $4, because we're really about that accessibility life. So yeah, this is one that I finally just restocked. It's one of my own. It's called Falling Like the Sky, and it is about being 16 and being really into the band AFI and running away from home and being queer and growing up queer in the country. And yeah, it was just a spoken word piece I had done for an event, and then somebody requested a printed copy. So I made a thingy, because I used to do broadsheet zines when I was in high school, which this is about. So then I realized I couldn't sell it with no cover, so I had to make cool envelopes to put it in. So yeah, and oh, time, dang.
That's time. Yeah,
Cool.
that's perfect.
Well, check out our site, guys. It's awesome.
Yeah, awesome. We're gonna have the links up at the slide at the end. So thank you so much for sharing. And as was pointed out in the chat, the decor, fantastic. So everybody's having decor envy right now. All right, we're gonna go to the next presenter. So that's going to be Flash Thrive Art Collective.
Hi.
Great.
We have like a little presentation. I don't know what the best way to do this is.
Well, you can screen share if
Cool.
you so choose.
Let's do that.
All right.
Cool. So I'm Rosie. I'm from Flash Thrive Art Collective. So we're a collective that started in Berkeley in 2015. So we're almost at 5 years of being a collective. And we kind of started because Cherie Celestial and I, who was the other co-founder, we had a lot of friends who were making different kinds of art, but like one, didn't really have a place to put it, and two, kind of felt a lot more comfort in putting things out as a group. I think a lot of us can relate to like wanting that extra support and not feeling like, oh, my name is on this, you know? So we first started with an anthology series of just like one issue, 50 pages of people's art, writing, drawing, photography under one theme. And then over the last couple of years, we've kind of grown into kind of encouraging the people that we know to make their own zines. So last year in 2019 was the first year we actually had a lot of members of our collective make their own zines. So, and we kind of just encourage people to write or draw or create what they would want to read. Our philosophy is kind of like, there's an audience for everything, and if you haven't seen it yet, like you should be the one to make it. So like literally we have a zine about interviews from people who have grown up in San Francisco and about like gentrification and their feelings around that. We had a zine, a personal zine by Jason Mai about kind of statistics and more information about the Asian population that's incarcerated that a lot of people don't talk about. We have zines about podcasts, about old Hollywood movie theaters, about all different kinds of stuff. And we're always looking to have people like come and work with us. So we're very online. The other cool thing about Flash Drive is that a lot of our friends we met from living in the Bay, and after graduation, we kind of all live in different places. Like I live in Vallejo, and a lot of our other members like live in different places all over the country and world. And so we've really grown and been able to meet new people this way, but we're also like very online as much as like very IRL. So like Zenefests were the way that we would connect with people. And then we also do lots of stuff online. We're really active on social. And the main way a lot of people interact with us now is we have something called the Playlist Diaries. So every month we release a playlist newsletter, and we have an artist either make art or write something and curate the playlist. So it's kind of like a diary entry that's themed to all the songs that you have on there. So we've had one that was like your own teen movie soundtrack. We've had one that was like songs to like listen to while you're just silently on Zoom with your friends because you miss them so much. And we literally have made like, this is like maybe our second year of doing playlist diaries. And so starting in 2021, we'll be looking for new people to contribute. So that's always a great way to work with us. And we always are on our socials pushing the work of the people in our collective. So people who make prints or who have like a cookbook or something, or we also do podcasts. So we're trying to always elevate the voices with the space that we wanted to have when we were in college and now get to have and get to foster for people. So come check us out online, and like we'd love to see your work and like work with everyone in the future. And that's
all right, great.
Yeah.
Still have about 30 seconds left. Is there
yeah, if you go to our website, we have like links to our store and like all the past zines, and also links to where you can find all of the people. We've gotten to, a lot of people have reached out through us to find people who have made specific zines. So if you are like trying to figure out who made a zine you love that you bought from us, you can go to our website. It's just flashthrive.com. Yeah.
Nice, very cool. Well, thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Great. So I did notice that we had at least one latecomer. So I just wanted to give everyone a chance, just in case, you know, you're coming and I already skipped over or, you know, gave my own introduction, but give you a chance to give your own introduction. So if anybody is late and is from Alex Wrekk and PBW Zine Distro or ArtReach Studios, please let us know. So just wanted to double check that before we moved on. Up next is going to be Irrelevant Press.
Awesome, thanks so much.
All
hi,
right, great.
I'm Holly. I am 1/4 of Irrelevant Press. Molly, Liz, and Sarah, I believe, are also on the Zoom as well somewhere. But Irrelevant Press is a zine collective that originally was fully based in Oakland, and then 2 or 3 years ago, half of us moved out to Brooklyn. So we're now bi-coastal, which is super exciting. And as a collective, we make a lot of our own work, which oftentimes is focused on the internet. So we have zines about online dating, and CoStar, which is also about online dating, and Twitter and Kim Kardashian, and then also Euphoria, which isn't really the internet, but is still just, you know, online culture and stuff. But pretty early on, things kind of evolved for us, and we actually started doing a lot more printing and publishing of other people's work, which personally for me is a lot more exciting. So we actually printed one of the Flash Thrive zines, which is super exciting. We do both digital and risograph printing. So if any folks in the Bay or in New York ever need printing access, definitely feel free to hit us up. One of my favorites, which I feel like is pretty timely, is actually this book by an artist now in LA called Hannah Rubin, which came out after Trump's first 100 days in office, and is just 100 photographs of the word no that they saw somewhere out in the world during the first 100 days. Another one that I like, which is by a New York-based artist, is called 34 Collages, and it is a bunch of really beautiful scans of rocks that the artist collected when they were visiting their home in Turkey, and then created these kind of just gorgeous, weirdly manipulated images using a scanner and whatever software they were using on their computer. And then what we've been doing most recently, and what I think we're all most excited about right now, is we've been doing a lot of printing for organizers and folks doing mutual aid work in the Bay and in New York, and actually kind of across the US. We're collaborating with a bunch of other printers that are spread through across the US in this funny collective called the World Print Coalition. But really it's just a Slack group, and it's allowed us to kind of distribute the work that's needed around giving free printing access to organizers and activists who want to create political essay zines, or I really like this one. This is kind of a recounting of the siege in Minneapolis on the police precinct. So that's something that we're continuing. And if you are somebody that wants to create work that is in response to the current political movement, or especially come November when I can't even imagine what's to come, or artists that need access to free printing to get their work out in that way too, we are still continuing to do free printing, and that's something we're super excited about. So definitely reach out to us for that resource.
That's so awesome. That's like a really cool thing. So just because you have like 30 seconds left, is that something you were able to do just because you've grown as a distro, or is that always something you've?
Yeah, well, we're lucky that one of our collective members works at a print shop. So not only is she a printing guru and has kind of taught all of us how to use things like risographs and all that sort of thing, but we also have access. I mean, we have our own printers. So we have access to printing materials. And then also we've been given paper donations just because we sort of have a network of folks that we've printed for before that wanted to donate. And so we do have some funds to continue the free printing.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks. Let's move on to our next presenter here. So it's going to be Mikasita Press.
Hi. Hello. Okay, so thank you SF Zenfest for providing space to Mikasita Press, and then also about our location. We are we're on occupied Ohlone land, SF Bay Area. So first off, Mikasita Press is a femme-led DIY self-publishing printing press. We provide services from digital to risograph and screen printing, and want to help amplify voices of QTPOC and other underrepresented communities through print. And so basically, Mikasita Press, we began among two friends, myself and Senorina. And so I began with Senorina as just like helping them vend their work and some zines. And during that time, I wasn't really aware of what zines were. And so when I saw their work, I was just totally inspired. And then I became more serious in wanting to create zines. And so now that's where we are now. Me and Senorina wanting to make more zines, and we're vending. And so now I'm going to talk about my personal zine that I have right now through Mikasita Press. And so this one is called You'll Remember. So for my work, it's mainly about kind of finding my identity in terms of ancestral and land. So yeah, so basically this zine starts, I think you can see, okay. Starts off like this, like starting my journey. I was able to go to Mexico, and I got to see the pyramids over there, the sun and moon pyramid. And so this image, it's like a Aztec serpent, kind of like replacing myself right here. And so I kind of connect with the Aztec serpent. Yeah, okay, so And it also comes with some poetry that I wrote to accompany each page, well, almost each page. So I'm just gonna read this first poem. It says, I remember not knowing what being Mexican meant. I remember flour tortillas with butter, and I didn't like beans. I remember road trips to Tijuana. So yeah, that's just one page. And then here's another one, like this kind of like, I guess representing myself, kind of like traveling from from here to like Mexico. And then also there's some photos of when I was able to go to Peru. And so this is from Peru. And I started, while in Peru, I started like in my mind connecting Mexico's land to Peru. And so I was just greatly inspired by the landscape. And yes, I wanted to kind of show the beauty of those countries, of some of my favorite photos that I took while there, and also like connected to my personal journey. So in this Peru, and there's like a mist clearing, and it just looks so beautiful and magical. And that's another part of Peru. And then some more Peru right here. And then here's Mexico. And then towards the end of the zine, it's kind of like coming to full cycle with myself. Well, not full, because I'm still figuring out my identity and all that. But I just wanted to point out how in the beginning, it's an edited photo and me showing myself that I'm like connected to the Aztec serpent. And then just going back to myself, kind of like finding home within myself. And yeah, so, and if you guys are interested or want to find out more about Mikasita Press, you can check us out online. We have, we're on Big Cartel and also Instagram.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. It's great that we got to know a little bit about the press and then also some of your own work. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right. So now, MONMONBOOKS is going to be next.
Hi, do you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. My name is Mon. I'm from Japan. Now I live in Osaka, Japan, so it is 10 o'clock in the morning now. So last year I applied San Francisco Zine Festival, and it was so fun, and thank you for letting me in this time. So my label is MONMONBOOKS, and this is my own zines, and these are all personal zines, like travels and my dogs and my favorite movies, cookings, something like that. In a travel zine, this is about when I went to Alaska for 3 weeks. And these are all in around Japan. These are Japanese, but these are all in Japanese. So this is about Berkeley, when I went to Berkeley 7 years ago. This is my dog, about my dog. She passed away 6 years ago, but I haven't lived yet. But these are memories with my dogs since from January to December. These are my dogs too. These are all printed in lithograph. I love that printing. This is my dog was a black dog, and I saw lots of black dogs in Taiwan. Everywhere I went every city I went in Taiwan, there was a black dog over there. Then that's my memory in seeing my, not my, black dogs in Taiwan. So these are my zines. And I also operate a small zine festival in Osaka, Japan. And this is called Zine de Osaka. And this is a very small festival, zine fair, like maybe 30 tables. But this is a sixth year. This supposed to be a sixth year this autumn, but we gave up real festival. But this year, we are going to have exhibitions of over 60 folded small zines from various zine makers. Then we also have a zine exchange. So we invite zine exchange zine maker for zine exchange from all over the world. So if you are interested in, please contact us, zinedeosaka@gmail.com. And if you send us your zines, we will send various zines from Japan. So if you are interested in, please join us. And next year, we hope have Zine de Osaka, and we have every year we have some international exhibitor from Germany, Taiwan, and Hong Kong, something like that. So please come to see us. Thank you very much. That's all.
Thank you. That was wonderful. This was so great to see, and just really appreciate you coming out in spite of the time difference. We really like it.
Thank you so much.
So,
yes, I have to leave now because I have to go to work. So
oh, sure. Well, it was really good seeing you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Bye
Okay,
bye.
take care. All right, awesome. Well, great. Now we all know about another awesome global zine event. So really hope to go to that next year if any of us are able to. So I think this is our second to last. It's going to be Itsy Bitsy Zines.
Hi, that's
All
me.
Right. Great. Go ahead.
My name is Avalon, and I am Itsy Bitsy Zines. I had only just started making zines, mini zines during quarantine. There was an Instagram account that I followed called Austin Cleon, and he just started making mini zines, and it was really excellent because I was in my bedroom, which is where we are now. So you can see I have a pretty small room, and because of my living situation, I was in here for 12 to 14 hours every day and just really feeling stuck. And I just love that zines, you can just create on your own and make something. So the first zine that I made, mini zine, it took me over a month to sort of figure out how it would work. It's called Hump Day. It's about Wednesday. And this one I did illustrate myself, and it's a little bit about the word Wednesday itself and where it comes from. And then after that, I ended up, I don't remember how it started, but I ended up making zines out of just articles that I found. So the rest of the zines that I've made, which is just a handful so far, have been cut and paste little stories that I made out of magazine articles that I was reading. So this one was my first cut and paste zine, and it was out of 2 articles in the New Yorker. One was a like sci-fi article, and one was like kind of a love story. So this is a sci-fi love story. And this one similarly is A Robot Treks Home. It's a little story about a robot. This one's entirely made from like captions, image captions in a National Geographic article. I think I do have time to read it. I'll just say that this really was helpful, especially like when I was just inside 100% of my day, because I didn't plan out the story. I didn't know how it was going to turn out. I just started cutting out words that I liked and then tried to figure out how to make it into something that made sense and told a story. And it gave a sense of exploration and discovery that was really missing, because like you're never going to discover anything in your bedroom. So this has been like a very helpful outlet creatively, and I'm so grateful to be participating in Zenfest and hearing and meeting all of you and discovering like how to express myself creatively, I guess. So I think I have time for a Robot Treks Home. The rover heads south into ice crystal clouds, escaping the data of its distant past to seek a geologically similar life. Climbing an ancient crater, the rover rests on a sandstone outcropping. Beyond the hill, volcanoes spew gases and an empty river stretches to the horizon. The rover starts to look closely at the rocks, perhaps glimpsing an ephemeral home in the sediment. So that is my most recent zine. I hope to be making more, and I look forward to collaborating and doing more in the future.
All right, thanks, Avalon. You ended exactly on time.
Great.
And as Michael pointed out in the chat, Avalon is one of our awesome SF Zine Fest volunteers this year. So thanks for that, Avalon. Appreciate it. Great. Next up is our final presenter tonight. It's going to be Rock, Paper, Scissors Collective out of Oakland, California.
Hey,
Alex?
everybody.
Great.
My name is Alex Sadar. Sorry. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm the current zine director for Rock, Paper, Scissors Collective. For those of you familiar with us, we're a DIY arts nonprofit founded in 2004 in Oakland, California. If you ever went to the Oakland Art Murmur around that time or after, you may have been by our old brick and mortar spot on Telegraph. Since moving out of that spot, we've been in a place on Warehouse 416, which we moved out of, and now we're looking forward to a new spot by the Starline Social Club, if you know where that is. Really exciting. But a little bit about us, we do a lot of stuff ranging from like art classes and workshops, events. We usually have a yearly vegan cupcake bake-off. Last year we had Craftathon, which has 12 hours of different classes in one day. So we do a lot of cool stuff and work with the community here in Oakland. So one of the things we're really excited about for San Francisco Zine Fest is we're putting together our first Etsy this week. This will be the first time we've like offered any of our stuff online. So I got a few zines. I'll just kind of zoom through here. This first pile is stuff by like our friends and volunteers. This one is called The Weird One's Mind by Oscar Almaguer. And he was one of our youth volunteers. And so he's got this really cool little illustration of kind of like dark fantasy illustrations. He's like just out of high school, and he taught a few workshops at the library here in Oakland for us. I think there was like stamps, buttons, and a comic workshop. So this stuff is super cool. We also have this really sweet photo zine by Ikvinder Singh. This is called Everything's Fine in Chinatown. Bunch of great photos of Chinatown in different colors. Great one if you love photography. The next zine is one that I made. So I was running a monthly zine jam. And so pretty much every month we would have like a little drink and draw at our current space or at our old space, and collect all the drawings and then make a zine out of them. We're doing that every month. The next zine we have is called Tabby Town, which is a zine made by John Casey. He's a cool Oakland artist. This one is all adorable cats. Really love this one. Cool, $10. The next little zines that I have are zines made by grant recipients for the Arajo Memorial Funds. This is a grant that we've been offering 2 months now in honor of Arajo, who's one of the people who passed away in the ghost ship fires, and also an all-around amazing person that we're lucky to facilitate this grant with her family. So all these zine makers received funding to make their zines through the grants. I love this one. It's called Prickles. It's a lonely plant sexual cactus, kind of queer self-care comics. Rhizo printed. Really love this one. Here's another little zine. Is We Love Friends. This one's made by our awesome friends at Hot Dad Calendar Distro. If you know them, it's like Myra, Nico, Kristen. Myra's really terrific. They help organize East Bay Zine Fest and the East Bay Queer Zine Fest. That's cool. You can see them there. This was all made at one night at our old space. Cool. A couple more zines left. This one's by Unicorn Prince, A Deeper Love. This one's great. It has a couple prompts all about kind of like personal growth and discovering yourself. The only prompt you need, how do you feel? So this one's really great for doing your own personal writing, and then also has a ton of resources for if you want to reach out to people in like the Black and Brown healing community in particular. Great one. And then the last zine I have is Abortion Circle. This is a self-care zine and coloring book. We're hosting this group every month. And so from the inside it says, abortion support and art group with Abortion Circle is creating supportive space with art for all people who have had an abortion. So this has just been a really great support group that we've been lucky to host, and really look forward to if we can host them at our new space. And then last thing I have to talk about is Rock, Paper, Scissors is all about collaborating with the community. So we have a couple open calls going on right now. Our first open call is for a mail art show. So if you send us your postcards, they'll all be collected into a cool little window display that we'll be putting together later towards the end of this year. And then the other open call that we have is for a politically conscious art show, Towards Justice is the title. And that's all going to be about supporting kind of Black Lives Matter movement and other kind of like, countering racism and art that deals with that. And I'll also be putting together a digital zine for that too. So yeah, definitely check out Rock, Paper, Scissors, our website.org. We're on Instagram and all that, and look for our new Etsy this week.
All right, thanks, Alex. Thanks so much for sharing. You got a little more time, but you had so much to share that also with those last two things at the end, that's things that I had a feeling that others in this might want to get involved with.
Yeah.
That is the thing here where this is actually distro night. I don't know if that was not obvious, but this is definitely the night of the distros and collectives and all that great stuff. I did not say disco night, but that would be that. Yeah, both are good. Absolutely. So yeah, just with our last 5 minutes here, it's not quite time to go. So I just want to just open it up with a general question here. What's the most fun thing about running a distro to those who do? Which is, as I said, many, if not most of you.
I like finding, I really like that too. I really like doing all of the things that are the work side of it as much as I do like that, but I really like making the art for it. I like working with people to get their words, and then we do a lot of like production stuff where we will actually do art and lay out for people. So yeah, just getting to do the artistic side of it is the most fun part for me.
Nice. Julia, I did get most of that, I think, but it came through very kind of robotic sounding.
I love that.
It's interesting. I mean, it's an interesting noise, but I don't think it's the intent. But but cool. That's a good perspective. How about anybody, the most challenging thing about running a distro? I mean, especially this year, right, where everything is just social media. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I feel personally challenged by social media, just its very existence at all times. So, but yeah, no, I imagine so. If anybody has a specific point to that, feel free to weigh in. But yeah, it's kind of this. I would bet it's like a attractive seeming way to maybe get work out there, but then it can be kind of a time trap where you might be putting things in there and not getting the time, and that's not even to mention kind of the toxic communities that often accumulate online. So yeah, so well, that's food for thought for the future. I think that's good stuff. Now we have just 2 minutes left, so I'm going to go back to the slides here and share the last couple slides. So first of all, we've got our links in the order of presenters for tonight. Please take a screenshot of this screen now. This is kind of where everything is in one place so that you can find all the awesome people who presented tonight. Support these distros, grow their social media following counts so that we can all figure this out together and thrive. Upcoming events for Cyberfest. Tomorrow night, Thursday, we've got another show and tell. It's going to be Group J. That's going to be at 6 o'clock. September 18th is going to be our Thinking Captions reading with Deaf P. Sun, Week 2 guest of honor. So tune into that at 5 on Friday. Then on Saturday, we've got 2 events. It's a Rezo demo with Shoot Studio at 1, and then a drawing and zine making session, just an open-ended hangout. Super great to get to know some people or just get some work done, kind of co-work and catch the vibe at 2 o'clock. Then on Sunday, it's going to be another show and tell group, going to be Group K at 2 o'clock. Then there's a panel with parent artists talking about the kind of what it's like to balance child raising and making art and sheltering from the pandemic and wildfire and everything. It's going to get into all that at 3 p.m. and then a Q&A with Tana Tucker to kick off week 3 at 4 p.m. because Tana Tucker is, as I said, our guest of honor for week 3. Then after that is Monday at 6. We got another show and tell. So all of those are our fantastic events coming up. Please buy week 2 festival merch. Here it is. I mentioned it before, but this is what it looks like. This is Deaf P. Sun's great poster, or Rezo print, and the vinyl sticker. High quality. looks awesome. Death is based in Fort Bragg and comes up with all this amazing stuff. So definitely buy this, support Death, support Zenefest, and we really appreciate it. So thank you all for joining us for Cyberfest 2020. This concludes the show and tell of this evening.